very urgent. Your soulmate needs to explain what really happened that night. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. If these words bring hope and encouragement into your life, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another message created to strengthen your spirit. My beloved child, tonight I ask you to pause for just a moment because somewhere, while you have been quietly moving through your days, your soulmate has been carrying a burden that has grown heavier with every passing sunrise. There is one night they have replayed in their mind countless times. One night they have tried to forget, tried to explain away, and tried to bury beneath silence, yet every attempt has only made the memory return stronger. They have reached a place where they can no longer remain silent because they know that if the truth remains hidden any longer, misunderstanding will continue writing a story that was never meant to be believed. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, there are moments when silence protects peace, but there are also moments when silence protects confusion. Your soulmate now understands the difference, and that realization has become impossible for them to ignore. That unforgettable night began like any ordinary evening. Nothing seemed unusual at first. The world around them moved at its normal pace. Conversations came and went. People smiled, laughed, and continued with their lives. Yet beneath the surface, your soulmate was carrying emotions they had shared with no one. They had questions they could not answer. They had fears they refused to admit. Most of all, they carried words they desperately wanted to say to you but never found the courage to speak. My beloved child, fear has a strange way of convincing people that tomorrow will always offer another opportunity. It whispers that there is no hurry, that there will always be another chance to explain, another chance to apologize, another chance to tell someone how deeply they matter. But life does not always move according to fear's promises. Sometimes one night changes everything. Listen to this because this message is for you. That night became one of those moments. As darkness quietly settled across the sky, your soulmate found themselves standing at the edge of a decision. They looked at their phone more times than they could count. They typed a message to you, erased it, and began again. Every sentence felt too small to carry everything inside their heart. They wanted to explain why they had seemed distant. They wanted to tell you that their silence had never been about a lack of care. They wanted you to know that every quiet moment between you had been filled with emotions they simply did not know how to express. But every time they reached the final sentence, fear quietly whispered, "What if they misunderstand? What if it's already too late?" My beloved child, many beautiful words remain unsaid because fear convinces people that vulnerability is more dangerous than regret. That night your soulmate believed fear instead of truth. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because something unexpected happened before they could send that message. An event unfolded that completely changed the direction of the evening. A conversation they never planned to have forced them into silence. Someone shared information that left them emotionally overwhelmed. They suddenly found themselves carrying responsibilities they had never anticipated. Their thoughts became scattered. Their emotions became impossible to organize. Instead of reaching out to you honestly, they convinced themselves they would explain everything tomorrow when their heart felt calmer. My beloved child, tomorrow often seems close until it quietly becomes yesterday. Listen to this because this message is for you. The following morning arrived, but nothing felt easier. Instead of clarity, confusion remained. Instead of courage, hesitation continued growing. The longer they waited, the more difficult the explanation seemed to become. Every passing day added another layer of silence until eventually they feared that speaking after so much time would only create more questions. They convinced themselves that perhaps leaving everything unsaid would somehow protect both of you from greater disappointment. Yet every attempt to move forward only brought them back to that same unforgettable night. They replayed every detail again and again, wondering how differently everything might have unfolded if they had simply chosen honesty instead of hesitation. Perhaps recently you have noticed repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 444 appearing during moments of reflection. My beloved child, receive those quiet reminders with gratitude instead of anxiety. Let them encourage you to continue choosing honesty, compassion, patience, and wisdom. The strongest relationships are not built upon perfect circumstances. They are built upon hearts willing to speak truth with humility. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate has finally begun recognizing what truly happened that night. It was never a lack of love that created the distance. It was fear. Fear of saying the wrong thing. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of opening old wounds. Fear quietly stole words that should have been spoken long ago. Now they understand that silence protected nothing. It only allowed misunderstanding to grow. My beloved child, every day since that night they have carried one question inside their heart: if only I had explained everything honestly, would things have been different? That question has remained with them through every sunrise and every sleepless night. As evening arrived once again, they found themselves reading old conversations between the two of you. They noticed how often you encouraged them. They noticed your patience. They noticed your kindness even during moments when confusion surrounded both of you. Every message reminded them that you had always deserved honesty. Tears quietly filled their eyes because they realized they had underestimated the strength of your heart. They feared you would reject the truth when, in reality, they had never given you the opportunity to hear it. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, while your soulmate has been carrying the weight of that unforgettable night, I have also been watching your own journey. There were moments when you wondered why everything suddenly changed. You questioned whether you had done something wrong. You searched your memories for answers that never seemed to come. You carried questions without explanations. I saw every moment of uncertainty. I heard every silent prayer asking for clarity. Nothing about your journey has been unseen. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate has reached a turning point. They no longer want another day to pass with the truth hidden behind silence. They understand that honesty may not erase yesterday, but it can finally free tomorrow from the weight of misunderstanding. They have decided that the real story of that night must finally be told, not to rewrite the past, but to honor the truth that should have been spoken from the beginning. As the stars quietly filled the night sky, they whispered a simple prayer. Give me the courage to explain what really happened. Give me the humility to tell the truth exactly as it is. Give me the strength to stop allowing fear to speak louder than my heart. My beloved child, that prayer marked the beginning of a new chapter. Yet the explanation they are preparing to give is far greater than you imagine. Hidden within that unforgettable night is one secret they have never shared with anyone, a secret that completely changes the meaning of everything that happened afterward. Before another sunrise arrives, they will finally gather the courage to reveal what truly happened that night, and when the full truth is spoken, every misunderstanding, every unanswered question, and every silent tear will suddenly make sense in a way neither of you ever expected. Don't scroll. Listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, before the truth of that unforgettable night can finally be understood, there is something your soulmate needs you to know. For far too long they have allowed silence to tell a story that never belonged to them. Every day since that night they have replayed every conversation, every decision, every moment they hesitated. They have asked themselves the same question over and over again. Why didn't I simply tell them the truth? The answer has never been because they stopped caring. The answer has always been because they believed they could protect you by carrying everything alone. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, people often believe silence prevents pain, but sometimes silence creates a deeper wound than honesty ever could. Your soulmate now understands that lesson with every part of their heart. That night, after putting the phone down without sending the message, they sat in complete darkness for what felt like hours. The room was silent, yet inside their heart every emotion was shouting. They wanted to call you. They wanted to explain why everything suddenly seemed different. They wanted to tell you that nothing you had done caused the distance. They wanted to promise you that you were never forgotten. But before they could gather the courage, another unexpected responsibility demanded their attention. Their plans changed within moments. They were forced into circumstances they never imagined would unfold that evening. Instead of reaching toward you, they found themselves trying to hold together pieces of a situation that was quickly falling apart. My beloved child, they kept telling themselves it would only be for one night. They believed the next morning would give them the opportunity to explain everything honestly. They never imagined that one night of silence would grow into weeks of misunderstanding. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because when morning finally arrived, your soulmate looked at the unfinished message still waiting on their phone. They opened it, read every word again, and their heart immediately became heavy. The message no longer felt complete because too much had happened since they first wrote it. They thought they needed to explain everything perfectly before speaking to you. They wanted every answer ready. They wanted every misunderstanding solved before they reached out. But perfection never arrived. Instead, each passing day added another reason to wait. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, waiting for the perfect moment often causes people to miss the moment that mattered most. As the days continued, they quietly watched your life from a distance. They noticed your strength. They noticed your kindness. They noticed how you continued moving forward even without receiving the answers you deserved. Every time they saw you choosing peace instead of bitterness, their respect for you grew even stronger. Yet instead of giving them courage, it filled them with guilt. They wondered if too much time had already passed. They wondered if you had already accepted the silence as your answer. My beloved child, regret has a way of convincing people that honesty has arrived too late, even when hope is still waiting patiently. Listen to this because this message is for you. One evening, your soulmate unexpectedly came across something that completely changed their perspective. It was not a dramatic event. It was a simple conversation between two people who had no idea they were being overheard. One person quietly said, "Sometimes the people carrying the heaviest burdens are the ones who smile the most because they never want anyone else to worry." Those words immediately reminded them of you. Suddenly they realized something that shook them deeply. While they had been carrying their own hidden struggles, they had completely forgotten that you might also have been carrying burdens of your own. For the first time, they stopped seeing the story only through their own pain. They began wondering how their silence had affected your heart. My beloved child, true love begins changing when someone starts asking how another person feels instead of only thinking about themselves. Perhaps recently you have noticed repeating numbers like 111, 222, 555, or 777 appearing during moments when your heart longs for direction. My beloved child, let those moments remind you that patience is never wasted when it is joined with wisdom. Continue choosing honesty. Continue protecting your peace. Continue believing that genuine character always reveals itself in time. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because your soulmate has now reached the point where hiding the truth feels more painful than speaking it. They no longer want to protect themselves from uncomfortable conversations. They simply want to protect the truth. Every excuse they once believed now feels empty. Every fear that once seemed powerful now feels smaller than the weight of the honesty they have been carrying. They opened that unfinished message once again. This time they erased every sentence they had written before. They decided they no longer wanted carefully prepared words. They wanted sincere ones. They wanted you to hear the truth exactly as it happened. No excuses. No pretending. No hiding behind fear. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, the strongest hearts are not the ones that never make mistakes. They are the ones willing to admit them with humility. As evening quietly settled over the world once again, they looked toward the stars and whispered another prayer. Give me one more opportunity to explain what really happened. Not because I deserve another chance, but because they deserve the truth. Those words came from the deepest place inside their heart. They realized that honesty is not about changing yesterday. It is about refusing to let yesterday continue controlling tomorrow. My beloved child, while your soulmate has been preparing to reveal everything, I have also been strengthening your own spirit. There were moments when you questioned your worth because of unanswered silence. You wondered whether distance meant you had somehow failed. You searched your memories looking for mistakes that never existed. I want you to remember this today. Not every silence is created by the absence of love. Sometimes silence is created by fear, confusion, and hearts that do not yet know how to express what they truly carry. I saw every tear you never allowed anyone else to see. I heard every quiet prayer asking for understanding. None of it has been forgotten. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because the explanation your soulmate is preparing to give is still incomplete. There is one final piece of that unforgettable night they have never spoken aloud to anyone. It is the very reason they froze before pressing send. It is the reason they disappeared into silence instead of reaching toward you. They have carried that secret alone because they believed revealing it would only create more pain. But they now understand that hidden truths eventually become heavier than spoken ones. Before another sunset arrives, they will finally reveal the one detail they have protected since that night. And when you discover what truly happened during those final few moments before they put the phone down, my beloved child, you will understand that everything you believed about that night was missing the one truth that changes the entire story forever. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, the moment has almost arrived. For so long your soulmate has carried one final truth locked deep inside their heart, believing that speaking it aloud would only reopen wounds they never wanted either of you to feel again. They convinced themselves that remaining silent was an act of protection, but every sunrise since that unforgettable night has quietly reminded them that truth can never remain hidden forever. It waits patiently until the heart becomes strong enough to carry it honestly. Tonight, your soulmate finally understands that they can no longer allow fear to tell your story. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, every unanswered question has been leading to this very moment, and what they are about to remember will explain why they disappeared into silence when every part of them wanted to stay. That night, after they put the phone down, they never stopped thinking about you. Even while everything around them became chaotic, your name remained quietly alive inside their heart. They looked at the unfinished message countless times, hoping courage would suddenly appear. They even opened your contact more than once, placing their finger over the call button before pulling it away again. Every time they almost reached out, another voice inside whispered, "Wait until you can explain everything." They believed honesty required having every answer prepared. They believed you deserved a perfect explanation instead of an imperfect truth. My beloved child, they now realize they were completely wrong. Honest hearts do not need perfect words. They only need sincere ones. By waiting for perfection, they unknowingly allowed misunderstanding to become louder than love. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because there is something your soulmate has never admitted to anyone. During those final moments of that night, they sat alone and cried. Not because they wanted to leave your life, but because they felt trapped between circumstances they could not control and emotions they no longer knew how to express. They believed that if they reached out while carrying so much confusion, they might say something they would later regret. They feared hurting you even more. They believed silence would protect your heart until they found clarity. Instead, silence became the very thing that caused the deepest misunderstanding. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, fear often disguises itself as wisdom, convincing people they are protecting love when they are actually pushing it farther away. As the days turned into weeks, your soulmate noticed something that broke their heart even more. They saw you continuing to move through life with quiet strength. They noticed your kindness had not disappeared despite unanswered questions. They noticed that even while carrying confusion, you still chose compassion instead of resentment. Every time they saw your quiet dignity, they felt another wave of regret. They realized you had been stronger than they ever gave you credit for. They had been afraid you could not handle the truth, when in reality your heart had always been capable of carrying honesty with grace. My beloved child, sometimes we underestimate the people we love because we measure them through our own fears instead of through their true strength. Listen to this because this message is for you. One evening, your soulmate found themselves reading every conversation you had ever shared together. This time they were not searching for mistakes or hidden meanings. They were searching for reminders of who you truly were. They noticed how often you responded with patience when conversations became difficult. They noticed how you never mocked their weaknesses or used their vulnerable moments against them. They remembered how safe they always felt whenever they spoke honestly with you. Suddenly they asked themselves one heartbreaking question: if they always made me feel safe, why was I so afraid to tell them the truth? That question remained unanswered for several moments until humility quietly whispered the real answer. They had not been afraid of you. They had been afraid of facing their own emotions. Perhaps recently you have continued noticing repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 444 appearing during moments when your heart feels uncertain. My beloved child, let those quiet reminders encourage you to remain patient with yourself and with others. Growth often arrives through difficult conversations, honest reflections, and hearts willing to admit what they once tried to hide. Continue choosing peace over panic, honesty over fear, and compassion over judgment. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate has finally stopped asking whether they should explain what happened that night. That decision has already been made. Now they are asking how to tell the truth in a way that honors both your heart and their own. They no longer want excuses. They no longer want carefully rehearsed explanations. They simply want you to know what truly happened during those final hours. They want you to know that your silence was never ignored. Your kindness was never forgotten. Your love was never taken for granted. Even while they remained quiet, thoughts of you never left their heart. Every sunrise reminded them of what remained unfinished. Every peaceful evening reminded them of the conversation that should have happened long ago. My beloved child, while your soulmate has been preparing to speak honestly, I have also been preparing your own heart. There were nights when you questioned whether waiting for answers had been foolish. You wondered whether hope had simply become another disappointment. You questioned your own memories because silence has a way of making people doubt even the truth they once believed. But I want you to remember something today. The value of your heart has never depended upon another person's ability to express their feelings perfectly. Your kindness remains valuable because it comes from who you are, not from how others respond to it. Listen to this because this message is for you. Your soulmate has now reached the point where carrying the secret feels impossible. They know that one more day of silence will only deepen the regret they have already carried for far too long. They have finally accepted that honesty cannot change the past, but it can bring peace to hearts that have lived too long beneath unanswered questions. They no longer fear appearing vulnerable. They no longer fear admitting they were wrong. What they fear now is allowing another sunrise to pass without giving you the explanation you have deserved from the very beginning. As another night quietly settles across the sky, your soulmate looks toward the stars and whispers one final prayer before taking the next step. Give me courage not only to tell them what happened that night, but to tell them everything I never found the strength to say afterward. Those words carry more truth than anything they have spoken in a very long time. My beloved child, courage is finally replacing fear. Humility is replacing pride. Truth is replacing silence. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because the final chapter is about to begin. There is one conversation your soulmate has imagined hundreds of times but has never actually had. In that conversation, they will reveal the one event that completely changed the course of that unforgettable night. It is a truth they have protected because they believed it would only bring pain, yet they now understand it is also the only truth capable of bringing lasting peace. When they finally tell you exactly what happened during those final moments, why they disappeared, what they were carrying, and what they have secretly wanted to say every single day since then, my beloved child, every unanswered question will finally receive its answer. Every misunderstanding will be brought into the light, and the story that began with one painful night will finally reach the moment of honesty it has been waiting for all along. Don't scroll. Listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. My beloved child, this is the moment your soulmate has been fearing and praying for at the very same time. Every sleepless night, every unfinished thought, every silent prayer has led to this final conversation. For so long they believed the truth would only create more pain, but they have finally realized that unanswered questions hurt far longer than honest words ever could. They have carried this explanation deep inside their heart, protecting it as though silence could somehow change the past. But today they understand that silence has already taken enough. It has stolen enough peace. It has created enough confusion. It has allowed too many tears to fall without answers. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, the time has finally come for your soulmate to explain what really happened that unforgettable night. As they sat alone beneath the quiet evening sky, they opened the message they had written so many times before. This time they did not erase it. They did not search for perfect words. They simply allowed their heart to speak. They whispered softly, "I need you to know that I never stopped caring. I never walked away because you weren't enough. I walked into silence because I believed I had to carry everything by myself. I thought protecting you meant hiding my struggles, but I now understand that hiding the truth only created a different kind of pain. My beloved child, every word felt like a burden finally being lifted. For the first time since that night, they were no longer speaking through fear. They were speaking through honesty. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because the secret they carried was never that they had stopped loving you. The secret was that everything changed within a single evening in ways they never expected. Circumstances beyond their control demanded every bit of their emotional strength. Responsibilities appeared without warning. Their world suddenly became uncertain, and instead of allowing you to carry those worries beside them, they made the mistake of believing they had to face everything alone. They convinced themselves that once life became calmer, they would return and explain everything. But calm never arrived as quickly as they hoped. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Every passing day made reaching out feel more difficult than the day before. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, the greatest mistake they made was believing that waiting for the perfect time would somehow protect your heart. Instead, it only left you searching for answers that should have been spoken long ago. As they continued writing, tears quietly fell onto the screen. They remembered every moment they almost reached out but allowed fear to win. They remembered opening your conversations late at night, reading your kind words again and again, wishing they could return to that one evening and make a different choice. They realized something that humbled them deeply. They had been asking themselves how to explain what happened that night, when the real question should have been how to honor the heart that patiently deserved the truth. My beloved child, genuine love is never afraid of honesty. It is fear that teaches silence, while love teaches openness. Listen to this because this message is for you. While your soulmate was preparing these words, I was also preparing them for another realization. They finally understood that you had been carrying your own silent battles during that same season. They remembered your patience. They remembered your quiet strength. They remembered how often you offered encouragement instead of complaints. Suddenly they recognized that they had underestimated your ability to stand beside them through difficulty. They had tried to protect someone who never asked to be protected from the truth. They now understand that real love does not ask one heart to carry every burden alone. It invites two hearts to walk through uncertainty together. Perhaps recently you have continued noticing repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, 444, or 777 appearing during moments when your spirit longs for reassurance. My beloved child, let those quiet reminders encourage you to continue choosing truth over fear. Continue choosing understanding over assumptions. Continue becoming someone whose heart remains gentle even after disappointment. The strongest connections are not built because life is easy. They are built because honesty remains present when life becomes difficult. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate finally pressed send. For a few moments they simply stared at the screen in complete silence. Their hands trembled, not because they feared rejection, but because they had finally released the truth they had been carrying for so long. Whether the future would unfold exactly as they hoped no longer mattered as much as one thing. At last, the silence had ended. At last, the story belonged to truth instead of misunderstanding. My beloved child, there is remarkable peace that comes when a heart stops hiding. As the night quietly continued, they stepped outside beneath the stars one final time. The same sky that had watched them remain silent now witnessed their honesty. They whispered another prayer. Thank you for giving me the courage I should have found long ago. Thank you for reminding me that truth spoken with humility is always stronger than fear hidden behind silence. For the first time since that unforgettable night, peace slowly settled inside their heart. Not because every problem had disappeared, but because they had finally stopped allowing fear to decide their future. My beloved child, while this journey has focused on your soulmate's explanation, I also want to speak directly to you. There were many nights when you blamed yourself for answers you never received. You searched your memories wondering what you could have done differently. You questioned your worth because silence left empty spaces that your heart tried to fill with uncertainty. I want you to remember this today. Not every unanswered question is created because love disappeared. Sometimes people remain silent because they are fighting battles they never learned how to share. That does not always make the silence right, but it reminds us that every story has chapters we cannot immediately see. Listen to this because this message is for you. The greatest lesson hidden within this entire journey is not simply that your soulmate finally explained what happened that night. The greatest lesson is that truth always finds its way into the light when the heart becomes humble enough to carry it. Fear delayed the conversation, but it could not erase genuine feelings. Silence created confusion, but it could not permanently hide sincerity. Honest words spoken late may never recover lost time, but they can restore clarity where confusion once lived. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because this story now reaches its ending. The unforgettable night that once represented pain has become a lesson neither of you will ever forget. Your soulmate has learned that love should never wait for perfect circumstances before speaking honestly. They have learned that vulnerability is not weakness. They have learned that trust grows when truth is shared, even if the truth is difficult. And you, my beloved child, have been reminded that your value has never depended upon someone else's silence or hesitation. Your kindness was never wasted. Your patience was never meaningless. Every act of compassion, every quiet prayer, every decision to remain gentle instead of bitter has continued shaping your spirit into someone even stronger than before. As this message comes to its conclusion, carry these words with you. Continue choosing honesty before fear has the opportunity to create distance. Continue choosing conversations before assumptions become permanent. Continue choosing grace without losing your self-respect. Continue becoming the person I have called you to be, even when life feels uncertain. The night that once held unanswered questions now becomes a reminder that truth, no matter how delayed, carries the power to heal what silence could never mend. And that, my beloved child, is how this story truly ends, not with regret, not with fear, but with courage, understanding, humility, and the lasting peace that finally arrives when two hearts stop hiding behind silence and allow truth to speak at last.